Okay, we are live. We're going to wait until some people show up. I should probably stay in the lighting, though.
Always a good idea.
You know, find your light.
Find your light.
Okay, yep. Once people start showing up, we will start playing. And we are here to present Opry Revelry. Hey, Mom's here. Good, Mom, you are here. We're going to do a sound check because we want to make sure the balance is good between guitar and voice. Mm-hmm. And also, I'm going to do one on mine. So it doesn't matter what you play. Why don't you play a little bit of something?
And just, wait, for us playing together?
No,
or
for
just
you.
Me?
Just you.
Okay, let's see here. Votre je peux vous le rendre, Seigneur, Seigneur, garde avec les soldats.
Okay. Mom, how does that sound? How's the balance? Good balance. Okay, now I'm going to do my guitar. Because I'm using electric, because I don't own an acoustic. Maybe one day. Okay. How's that, Mom? Maybe the guitar's a bit loud to me, but you tell me how it sounds. More guitar, just a bit. Okay, I like that. Let me do it again. I'm going to trust that that's good. And we will get started here, okay? So, for those of you who don't know, I'm Rachel Moss, and this is Mike Heitman, and we run the Opera Unbound Podcast. It's a podcast that's all about breaking the barriers and all those myths and we could say bullshit that is spread about opera. And tonight we're going to be presenting some of opera's greatest hits with guitar, and we're going to be doing not only everything in opera style, we're kind of throwing some variety in there. So I hope you guys enjoyed. The whole point of this is to raise money for our production. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so we are hoping to do a production of The Elixir of Love, which is by Donizetti. I have put in a modern translation and we've condensed it down to about an hour. And so we want to put this on in a non-traditional venue and involve local artists. So we can not only involve them, but also introduce people to opera in a very relaxed, very non-obtrusive way, which is a lot of what we do in our podcast, is just explain things in a way that's really relatable. And so we are hoping to raise $2,500 with this live stream. We'll see how that goes. Yep. Every single donation, even if we don't get to $2,500, is all great. We've actually received quite a few in the last few days, so we really appreciate those who donated to the cause, and we are getting every day a little bit closer. So that's basically what we're doing this for, other than just spreading our love for opera and doing it in the way that we think speaks not only to the art form, but also to maybe more people than you would traditionally think. So,
all right, so we're going to begin with one of opera's most famous duets, Libiamo from La Traviata by Verdi. And it's a toast. So here's a toast to this evening, to all of you watching, and to the great music that's about to happen.
All righty. Libiamo, libiamo negli lieti conici che la bellezza infiora. liviane dolci fremiti che suscita l'amore, poiché quegli occhi al cuore onnipotente va. Liviamo amore, amor fra i corici più caldi baciavrà.
Tra voi saprò di vedere il tempo mio giocondo. Con cui follia nel mondo e noi piace. Godiamo da te rapido il cadio dell'amore e fior che nasce amore e più si goder. Godiam cembite e docentando sinche.
Godiamo la tazza e cantico la notte bella e il riso in questo paradiso sopra il luogo di
La vita nel tribudio
quando non sami ancora il mio destino così. Godiamo la tazza e cantico la notte bella e il riso in questo paradiso sopra il uomo di
I hope you enjoyed that. I am not a soprano. We also did that in a different key.
Yeah, thankfully more for me than her.
Yes.
You don't want to hear me yell like a dying cat.
Well,
So.
and some of these things are written in keys that the guitar doesn't do well.
Mm-hmm.
It makes it really complicated. So a few of the pieces we have adjusted up or down by a little bit to accommodate playing them on guitar more easily. So next up, I'm going to do Il segreto per essere felice from Lucrezia Borgia by Donizetti. This is an aria I love to do. It is a contralto aria, contralto pants roll, which actually isn't as common as mezzo pants rolls. So mezzo, did I say that right? Mezzo pants rolls. But it's very fun. The whole idea is that Orsini's at a party, and he's been challenged to write a song on the spot. So he comes up with this song, and he's talking about the secret of happiness. And what's the secret of happiness? Well, to Orsini, it's to live in the moment. He's definitely a YOLO man.
Mm-hmm.
Not thinking about the future, but just the here and now. Okay. Il segreto per essere felici so che prova insegno gli amici sia sereno se nobile il cielo ogni tempo sia caldo sia gelo scherzo e bevo e rido gli insonni che si dan del futuro pensiero scherzo e bevo e rido gli insonni che si dan del futuro pensiero d'amore gli anni fiorenti, il piacere fa correre più lenti, se vecchiezza con livida faccia, stavi a tergo vivetta minaccia, scherzo e bevo le rido gli insonni, che si danno il futuro pensier, scherzo e bevo le rido gli insonni, che si danno il futuro pensier. Non corriamo l'incerto domani, se quest'oggi ne tanto goder, se quest'oggi ne tanto goder, se quest'oggi ne tanto goder.
Yeah.
Next up, I believe Mike is playing something. Mike's going to do Toreador from Carmen, which, what do you know? Another song about drinking.
Yeah, it's another toast. It says, vote for toast. That's not voting for toast. That's your toast. That's a terrible joke, but
It was pretty bad.
yeah. It's a très mal. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with arguably the most testosterone-fueled person in opera, Escamillo is a bullfighter, and he does this toast to all the people there, toasting the other bullfighters, and he describes the scene of the bull and when it comes out and all of the anticipation and the blood and, you know, when the bull gourds the picador and all this stuff. And so this melody, though, is one that many of you will have heard at some point, I would guess. It's in a lot of commercials and, you know, all kinds of media. So anyway, here we go. Je peux vous le rendre, Seigneur, Seigneur, car avec les soldats, oui, les toreros peuvent s'entendre. Pour plaisir, ils ont les combats. Le cirque est plein ces jours de fête, le cirque est plein du haut combat. Les spectateurs perdent la tête, les spectateurs s'interpellent à grand fracas. Apostrophe à criser dommage, poussé jusqu'à la fureur, car c'est la fête du courage, c'est la fête des gens du cœur. Allons, en garde, allons, allons. Toreador, en garde. Toreador, toreador. Et songe bien, oui, songe en combattant, que le noir te regarde et que l'amour t'attend. Toreador, l'amour t'attend. Tout d'un coup, on fait silence, à que se passe-t-il? Plus de cris innocents, plus de cris innocents. Le taureau s'élance en bondissant de toril, il s'élance, il entre et frappe, un cheval roule, entraînant un picador. Un bravo taureau, il est la foule, le taureau va, il vient, et frappe encore, en secouant ses banderilles. Plein de fureur, il court, le cirque est plein de sang. On se sauve, on franchit les grilles. C'est ton tour maintenant. Allons en garde, allons. Toréador en garde. Toréador. Et songe bien, oui, songe en combattant, que l'œil noir te regarde, et que l'amour t'attend, Toréador. L'amour t'attend, Toréador. L'amour t'attend.
Okay. So I think we'll take the opportunity now that we're a little bit into our live stream to talk about a great opportunity that's come up. We have a donor who has a pledge for y'all. They are going to match dollar for dollar donations up to $500. This is fantastic because this allows us to pay the other people that we want to get involved in this production. We have an overall goal of $10,000. That's what it takes to have 5-6 people involved in an opera and paying them a fair wage. And for us, a fair wage is, $25 an hour for rehearsals, getting $250 per performance, getting paid for travel stipend. We have all these things that go into making an opera happen, preparation. And a lot of times companies don't pay you until you've performed. And we're going to do that a little bit differently. We're going to give our travel stipend up front, and we'll do like weekly payments for rehearsals because it's really hard to be an artist and make that budgeting work. And we want to offer the people we work with a little bit more stability.
And I think part of the big thing about what Rachel and I do is we know the value of opera and obviously music just generally, but specifically opera. And we know ways that can change how this whole thing is run that will be effective and helpful for everybody. So we are literally trying to be the change that we would like to see.
Yep.
And I think there are a few things that annoy me more than someone who's a hypocrite. And so I've always been of the opinion that I don't work for free and I don't expect anyone else to.
Yeah.
So we are trying to provide all of those things because there are many, many, many wonderful artists in the Seattle area. We don't necessarily need to go outside the area, but they also deserve to be paid fairly for their time and their effort, because I think we've all worked jobs that it's like, you don't quite pay me enough to care. You really don't.
Yeah.
And we don't want to do that because these shows are so powerful and so much fun, honestly. So if we are able to provide that, it's just going to be a better show overall.
Yeah, and we'll talk a little later about some of the shows we've already collaborated on, because in a lot of ways this will be similar. For those of you who have caught one of those shows before, the John Giovanni or the Carmen that we did together. So we'll talk about that a little bit later, though. So we're going to do a modern piece, although it's a modern piece that's inspired by early music, Baroque. So we'll do it in a little bit of a Baroque style, which means I will be finger picking instead of using a pick. So I didn't really need to take that out of my pocket. Put that back for safekeeping.
Yeah.
Any guitarist will tell you picks disappear.
They have legs. It's weird. They look like triangles, but they actually have legs.
They do. Okay, here we go. Memories. This is made famous by Maroon 5.
Yes.
So now we're
And many a wedding.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No wedding happening tonight.
Yeah.
Mullet? Oh.
Oh.
Let's turn the power on. Here's to the ones that we've got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. When the drinks bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the ones that we've lost on the way. When the drinks bring back all the memories. And memories bring back you. There's a time that I remember when I did not know pain. I believed in forever and everything would stay the same. Now my heart feels like December when anybody says your name. 'Cause I can't reach out and call you, but I know I will one day, yeah. Everybody hurts sometimes, everybody hurts someday, but everything's gonna be alright. We'll raise a glass and say, here's to the ones that we've got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. 'Cause the drinks bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the ones that we've lost on the way. 'Cause the drinks bring back all the memories. And the memories bring back you. Memories bring back you. There's a time that I remember. Never felt so lost. I felt all the hatred. Too powerful to stop. My heart feels like an ember, and it's lighting up the dark. I'll carry these torches for you that I know I'll never drop. Yeah. Everybody hurts sometimes. Everybody hurts someday. Everything's gonna be alright. Go and raise a glass and say, here's to the ones that we've got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. 'Cause the drinks bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way. 'Cause the drinks bring back all the memories. And memories bring back you. Memories bring back you. Memories bring back you. Yeah. Memories bring back you. There we go. Always love a good rep. I mean, honestly, that song is ammo. What do I mean by ammo? People will say, well, I just don't like opera, or I don't like classical music. I'm like, oh, so you've never been to a wedding, like we mentioned. And you're like, well, hey, you like that Maroon 5 song? Well, yeah. I'm like, well, guess where it comes from? Yeah, sounds a lot like Pachelbel's cannon, doesn't it?
Yeah. And unfortunately, as far as I know, Pachelbel didn't own a ship. So he's not shooting cannons.
Yeah, Mom says need a lighter.
You know, you got a cell phone, don't you? They got apps for that.
That's how they do it now.
Yeah.
They do the cell phones. No one carries around lighters anymore. Because if you didn't know, actually very few, compared to the rest of the world, fewer Americans smoke than other places. I was reading somewhere in the eastern part of Europe, it was like something like 80% of people smoke. It was pretty crazy.
Well, I mean, certain parts of our world are harder to live in.
Well, certainly, yeah.
So perhaps some deal with it that way. I don't know.
Yeah. Next up, I'm going to be singing the habanera, which many of you know, and it's all about love and the nature of love. And
it's not about peppers?
No, it's not about spicy peppers. That's a habanero.
Vowels. Who cares?
We did a version of Carmen, and I'm not singing that version because it's just really specific to the show we did.
True.
So out of context, it seems a little strange.
Wait, what? You're talking about strippers?
Yeah, we
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Stripper Carmen actually works really well because she's an outcast in everyday society. She was an outcast in the original setting because she was Romani, and they were outcasts at that time. What is Mom said? Groaning. Oh.
Groaning.
She didn't like her joke.
Trust me, there's way more. I got them all day.
All right, let's do this.
All right.
Love is like a rebellious bird whom none can never hope to tame, and in vain is a wooing uttered if they refuse your heart to claim. Nothing works, neither threat nor prayer, one speaks so fair, the other sighs, and in truth I prefer the other, though mute their heart to mine replies. Love is the child of free love, who does not know what rules are all about. If you don't love me, I love you. If I love you, then just watch out. If I don't love me, if you don't love me, I love you. And if I love you, then watch out. As a bird, when you thought to net them on buoyant wings, they flew away. Love is wary when you await them not, they're here to stay. All around you they swiftly whirl, now here, now there, they're quickly gone. You think you've caught them and off they whirl, you think you're free, they're holding on. No more, no more, no more. Love is the child of free love, who cannot see what rules are all about. If you don't love me, I love you. If you love me, then just watch out. If you don't love me, if you don't love me, I love you. But if I love you, if I love you, then what?
All right, so this next one, let me take a little sip of water.
Yeah, I think it's just you, right?
Yeah, I think so. We'll find out. We are a slave to our set list here. Yes, it is. So, this comes from a show that's highly controversial.
Oh, no.
Yes, and it's by Gilbert and Sullivan. Who would have thought that writing offensive things would get you in trouble?
Never.
Especially in today's day and age. So, this comes from the Mikado. And to make this really short and succinct, this takes place in Japan, even though it's actually commenting on British norms and political stuff at the time. And so the rule from the emperor is that no one, unless they are married, is allowed to flirt, leer, kiss, PDA, all that stuff in public.
That's a long list.
Yeah, it is. But you see, human beings, they kind of like that stuff. And even for some, it's kind of adventurous and makes them, turns them on a little bit to do it in public. So the punishment for this was beheading. Seems a little excessive, but that's what it was. And so people generally don't want to be beheaded. I know, shocker, right? So what Coco did was, okay, so yeah, I know that the whole beheading thing, it's probably not going to go the way the emperor thinks it will. So I'll have a backup plan. And I'll create a list of people. Nobody really cares if they died anyway. So this is that list. Now, of course, this was written, as I said, by Gilbert and Sullivan. They were around in the late 1800s, early 1900s, and some of the things in here, I don't even know what they're saying. So I rewrote it, and we have some modern stuff. You may find yourself on the list. This is not a comment on you personally. It's just generally speaking. And it covers a wide breadth of people in our society that some would not miss if they were, lopped off. So here we go. Hold up. That is some awful tuning. And I also just realized now, I haven't put this back into, because I didn't drop D tuning, right, for the habanera. Wow, this could have really been special. I mean, my mom always told me I was special. I don't really know about that anymore. I'm kind of, I have my moments. So, let me just quickly, whoa. Obi, you are the bane of my existence. Whatever, close enough. All right, here we go. As someday it may happen that a victim must be found, I've got a little list of society offenders who might well be underground, who never would be missed. There's the people who don't use their blinker when they are passing, the helicopter parents who won't let their kids do things, insufferable Twitter trolls who dig through your old tweets, and when they get you canceled, their crusade is complete. The mansplaining catcallers who think with their penis, they'll none of them be missed. I've got them on the list, I've got them on the list, and they'll none of them be missed. There's the opera serenaders and the others of their race, and their lame-ass guitarist, I've got him on the list. All internet bots, Tinder creepers, and ghosters, plus any person who's a fan of Justin Bieber. There's the mansplaining one-uppers who pontificate online, whose thoughts and prayers are the only solace you will find. The people who think others really care about their beauty, plus any person who says, wait, let me take a selfie. The mouth-breathing anti-vaxxers and so-called journalists, they'll none of them be missed. I've got them on the list, I've got them on the list, and they'll none of them be missed. There's the pussy hat-wearing social justice warriors and the blue-haired feminists. I've got 'em on the list. All Instagram models and the Kardashians, the culturally intolerant and Canadians. All politicians who are not the compromising kind, whether Democrat, Republican, or Soch. Oh, well, never mind. And and what's their name? And also, you know who. The task of filling up the blanks I'd rather leave to you, for it really doesn't matter whom you put upon the list. They'll none of them be missed. They'll none of them be missed. I've got 'em on the list, you know I've got 'em on the list, and they'll none of them be missed. They'll none of them be missed.
So I think that was a perfect example of the sort of modernization that Mike does with his librettos. Libretti, excuse me, let me be correct. And that we're making relevant. Oh, what's the word I'm looking for?
References.
Thank you.
Yeah, words are hard. I get it.
And these are the sort of things that we did with the Don Giovanni and the Carmen. And I don't know if you want to talk about either of those.
Sure.
Just show them.
Again, special. Real special. So, yeah, my whole goal is to make these things relevant and relatable, right? Because one of the most common things that a lot of people have about opera is that I can't relate to it. Why would I go spend a bunch of money and 3 hours of my life listening to people yell in a foreign language that I don't understand? Like that has no appeal to me when I can sit at home in my underwear watching Netflix.
Well, and the thing that I think many people don't know is that opera was performed in whatever country's language you were in. So when opera first came to America, it was done in English. Every opera that was popular, the Traviata, Mozart, the Marriage of Figaro, all of them were done in English because it now we think of it as like, well, we have to do it in the original language because that's what the composer intended. But was it?
Yeah. I mean, my whole thing is like, look, these people are dead. They can't speak for themselves. But if I was a Mozart or a Verdi or whatever, and I have the choice between my work being performed or not, and if by it being performed, it's in the native language of the people that are going to be most likely seeing it, I would rather have that than not performed at all, because those pieces quickly go away because they're not performed, right? And so I have rewritten a bunch of things. We have, like she mentioned, we've collaborated on a couple. I also did Bohème with a previous partner. And then I've done Figaro. I've rewritten that. And Elixir, of course. And The Real Housewives of Sparta is what I called it. But it's based on Offenbach's La Belle Hélène. And so in all these scenarios that I put into these libretti, I try to find what is the most relatable way to do this, number one. And if I don't want to go that route, because sometimes I don't, then how can I make it relatable in another way? We're about to do the duet from Giovanni, La Cirarem la Mano. We'll do it in English, the version that we performed. I guess you weren't Saralina,
yeah,
but she was.
I was completely opposite.
Yeah,
that.
I
played the bass.
Yeah, she was the bass. And so in this version, what I did with it is, I don't know if it's so much a hot button topic or is talked about as much now, but when I wrote this, the idea of campus rape culture was huge in our political and social landscape. It was often in the news if you follow that stuff. And so I decided to make it about that. And there's a lot of things that just really naturally within the show go with it. And one of the things I also do is gender bend, and Rachel is the beneficiary of it in that piece, because normally the commendatore is a man, but I made it the commendatora, and she was the dean of students who eventually takes Giovanni to hell at the end. But this, like I said, this is La Cirarem la Mano. This is Giovanni and Serlina. Serlina is just kind of a naive freshman or sophomore in my version of it. And Giovanni is like the law student that just won't ever graduate because he's basically there to prey on women and stuff like that. So this happens. Now, Serlina, one important thing is that Serlina is engaged to Mazzetto. Yet Giovanni comes along, and because she's young and naive, he promises a lot of things, and naively she believes him in a lot of it. So, anyway, here we go.
All right.
There, hand in hand, my love, we will say I do. Our life with you would make me the happiest man alive.
I don't know what to do. My heart is torn apart. With him I'd be rich, but I love Mazzetto. Can I really let him go?
Come to me, babe, I love me.
Does this make me a cheater?
I'll change your life forever.
I know I should not do this, but I have to think of what's best for my future.
Selina, my offer will last forever.
This is a big decision.
It's simply yes or no.
It's not that simple for me.
Your time is running out.
Oh my God, I can't
You
decide.
can assume he's cheating. I'll save myself just for you.
Myself forever for giving up on the easy life with him.
So what's your answer? Let's go and celebrate a new exciting love by drinking lots of wine. Let's go and celebrate a new exciting love by drinking lots of wine. Right now,
Later, your promise.
sounds good. Oh, what a night we'll have, enjoying one another and making love. There we go.
That went pretty well.
Mm-hmm. All right.
It's challenging to play and sing when you have to be accountable to another person.
It truly is.
Like when you're by yourself, you can stretch some things,
Mhm.
and it's not a big deal. But when you do it with a duet partner, you kind of have to keep it consistent. So it's a little bit another level of musicianship that has developed here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one of the things. Like I've self-taught myself. Wow, that was a completely unnecessary extra thing there.
It's okay.
But yeah, it's just I don't have the greatest guitar skills, and I just kind of figure it out as I go. But I completely agree. It was a little daunting our first rehearsal. I'm like, wait a minute, she's gonna have her stuff together. Do I? I don't know.
I'm glad you felt that way because I actually felt the same way.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, I'm a pretty good guitar player, and I don't feel so great right now.
Yeah, it's that whole humbling experience, right? All right, so this next one comes from La Boheme, which is one of the greats. It's by Puccini. And I'm going to be a hot girl for a second, so sit back and relax. This is Mazzetto's Waltz. Musetta's Waltz. And I'm going to do an English version that I thought up recently. I'm not using the same one that I did when I rewrote it before. I think this is one that's a little more succinct and a little bit cleaner. And so I'm going to also mess with this one. It's not going to be a waltz. So it's just Musetta's, I don't know, empowerment song. Whatever. Here we go. Let's go. When I go out, all the men stop and stare at me. Can't keep their eyes off me. I even get some looks from women. It's tough being so sexy, sexy. From your head down to your toes. I see the yearning in their eyes. It's so damn obvious. They can't resist all my charms, and they lust after me. The scent of desire surrounds me, and I love it. It makes me so happy. It makes me so friggin' happy. Despite knowing all of this, you still refuse to be with me. Why won't you come back to me? Although you won't admit it out loud, you're dying inside. Marcello's dying inside.
I loved that actually. I haven't heard you do that yet, so I really like what you did with it. That was fun.
Thank you.
So we're halfway through our show, and we've had some donations happen. I can see that we've had 2 different individuals donate $50. So thank you very much for those donations. You know, it's that's what we're here for, and thank you so much. We are going to put that money to work in creating this opera. So that is most excellent. Next up, I'm going to do the Seguidilla, also from Carmen. We said we were doing some of the greatest hits, so sorry, I'm just looking at some of the comments. And we're just going to do this one traditional. You know, we said we were messing with quite a few of them, but there's some of them that actually already sound good, and the Seguidilla is actually composed in a way that it's supposed to mimic the guitar. So it actually works really well just setting it up with the guitar. Okay, Ashley, where do you send the money? So if you look in the description of the video, there's 2 different ways. You can go to our GoFundMe campaign and donate there, or you can donate through PayPal. It has the information there, but our handle is at Opera Unbound Pod. So like our podcast. Okay, so Seguidilla. She chez mon ami Spazia. Oui, mais tout au selon son prix, elle avait pris 62. Tant qu'on était la compagnie, j'emmènerai mon amoureux. Mon amoureux, il est au diable. Je l'ai mis à la bouteille. Dans mon cœur très consolable, comme les lèvres, comme les lèvres. J'ai des glances à la douzaine, mais ils ne sont pas en mon gré. Voici la fin de la semaine, qui veut m'aimer, je l'aimerai, qui veut mon nom, et comprendre, vous arrivez au bon moment, j'ai des guets de la bonne tendre, par avec moi le balancement. Près de l'ombre de Céline, j'ai mon envie la Spazia, nous danserons la scène Dio parle di Monzania. La 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 la, la 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 la.
Yeah.
That song is all about seduction. It's a little weird to seduce through the camera. But the whole scene is that Carmen got arrested and she is trying to get Don Jose to let her out of jail because she's got things she needs to take care of that are outside of jail. So she is trying to worm her way out of the situation and kind of uses all of the things at her disposal, which is mostly her, to do so.
And by golly, it works.
Wow, imagine that.
Those tenors are so weak. All right. So this next one comes from... Oh, yeah, that's right. I have these out of order in my little thingy here. So one of the things on top of, rewriting these operas that I like to do is I like to mess with them. Obviously, I did that with the piece from Puccini's Bohème, which I have another one later from it. This is another one. This is the second song I ever messed with. And it's one of these things where I get these ideas. And I'm like, no, that's stupid. No, that's actually great. And so I just went with it, and it turned out to be a really great thing. Like, actually, the whole Stripper Carmen was one of these things. I'm out working one day. I'm like, wait a minute. And I literally texted Rachel, and I was like, wait, do you think this could work? She's like, yeah, why not? So I went with it. So this is one of those. This is from Offenbach's The Tales of Hoffmann. And in this scene, Dappertutto is trying to lure in, I think it's Antonia, if I remember correctly, with these diamonds, because girls love diamonds. And so they are the Santilla Diamant, so the scintillating and shiny diamonds, okay? So how am I messing with this is two things. Number one, I do it more in a country style. And because it's in a country style, it's going to be extremely redneck French.
Yeehaw.
So if you are a purist in the French language, might I suggest you brace yourself for nails on the chalkboard for about the next 2 minutes, because it's gonna, you might have a conniption. It's terrible. All right, here we go. Santilla Diamant, miroir se prend l'alouette. Santilla Diamant, facile à tirer l'alouette. Pour la femme à cette part vainqueur, bon du lait du cœur, can now come out from the chalkboard and the tears for something far more palatable.
Yes, mon coeur.
Yes. Oh, I'm excited for this. This is
Yes,
great.
I mulled over, how am I going to mess with some of the arias I do? And like, what do I hear in my head? And I decided that Mon Coeur was going to be one of the ones that I kind of altered. And when I was, I was like listening to it and I'm like, okay, what do I hear? Do I hear pop? Do I hear country? I don't hear country. Okay. Do I hear rock? And what I kind of went with was mostly pop, but a little bit punk inspired because I'm using in guitar what's called power chords. And they really give this very dun, 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 which you hear in the music of Mon Coeur. Bum, 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 bum. It's the strings that are doing this, and it's a really great texture. I was like, how do I do this on a guitar? So I kind of played around, and I came up with power chords was the best thing to do it with, and I bought a capo just to do this, so I could sing it in the actual key and not have to make my brain into a pretzel. So I'm gonna put.
Wouldn't it be great if we had capos for our voices?
Maybe. I don't know. I just imagined. I don't know if you've ever seen them. They make these Velcro neck things for roosters so they don't crow.
Oh. Whoa. Whoa. Maybe not. That just sounds awful.
Okay. I'm gonna tune real quick, I think. Just so we're not getting too out of it. Okie doke. So, get the power turned on. Oh my. All right. Capo on. Don't want to forget that. So, Mon Coeur comes from Samson et Dalila by Saint-Saëns, a French composer, and is based on the Bible story of Samson, who had the mighty hair that gave him all the power, and Delilah, who took it away from him. So this is another seduction song. I get stuck singing those a lot. All right, here we go. Dis-moi qu'à Dalila tu reviens pour jamais. Redis à ma tendresse les serments d'autrefois, ces serments que j'aimais. Réponds à ma tendresse. glasses. Sulla brise leggere. Ainsi frémit mon cœur, près de se consoler, à ta voix qui m'est chère. La flèche est moins rapide à porter le trépas que ne l'est ton monte à voler dans tes bras, à voler dans tes bras. Réponds à ma tendresse, baisse-moi l'ivresse. Réponds à ma tendresse, réponds à ma tendresse. Laisse-moi l'ivresse. Ça sent, je So that mostly went well. Next up, we are doing a song together. Another pop song. This one came out within the last 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Something like that.
Happy
Pretty
by Pharrell Williams is what we'll be doing. And
Oh, I guess I need my chords, huh?
oh, you might. Yeah, chords might be important.
I mean, there aren't too many, but I definitely would like to have them rather than not have them.
Always a good decision.
Yes. Okay. It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space with the air like I don't care, baby, by the way.
Because I'm happy.
Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof.
Because I'm happy.
Clap along if you feel that happiness is the truth.
Because I'm happy.
Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Hey. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Here comes bad news, talking this and that. Give me all you got and don't hold back. Well, I should probably warn you, I'll be just fine. No offense to you, don't waste your time. Here's why. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof.
Because I'm happy.
Clap along if you feel like happiness nothing. Bring me down, I said. Bring me down, get nothing. Bring me down, my love's too high. Bring me down, get nothing. Bring me down, I said. Clap along if you feel like a room without a room. Clap along if you feel like happiness is a truth. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. There we go.
All right, what's up next?
Oh, that's you.
Una Furtiva. How wonderful. Okay, this one I'm actually really excited about. When I heard this aria, it was just like immediate. I was like, oh yeah, rock ballad happening. This is what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
So, I gotta turn the distortion on for this one. This is Una Furtiva from The Elixir of Love by Donizetti, and this is actually a tenor aria. And yes, I am going to sing in tenor range because it's comfortable for me.
Yeah, you can.
Because I can. But I'm super excited to do this one. It is probably one of my favorite tenor arias.
Yeah.
What's the other really good tenor aria? I don't know.
I mean,
that I really love.
La Fleur? Jose?
No, not Jose.
I don't really see you being the type that would go for Nessun Dorma. I think you.
I actually do like
You
Nessun
do?
Dorma, but
Okay.
it's not like my favorite. But I do like it. And I'll tell you right now, Lemmy Pullman is my favorite tenor who's alive today who sings that aria. He should be hired everywhere because he's so good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Enough blabber. I'll take the capo off. Felt like I went out of tune. So maybe I'll just check real quick. Something was a little funky. We're all good? All right. Another finger picking exercise for anyone. Una furtiva lacrima negli occhi suoi spuntò, quelle festose giovani invidiar sembrò. Che più cercando io vo, che più cercando io vo, mamma, sì mamma, lo vedo. Un solo istante palpiti del suo bel cor sentir, i miei sospir confondere per poco a suoi sospir, i palpiti sentir, confondere i miei co suoi sospir. Cielo, si può morir, Dio non chiedo, cielo si può morir, di più non chiedo, non chiedo, si può morir, si può morir d'amor.
Yeah.
So I don't know who you guys heard, but I kind of like in my head it was either like you had mentioned Bon Jovi, and I think that was actually a pretty good one. I mean, Sting was who first came to mind, although Sting doesn't quite use, he uses distortion sometimes, but you know, it's what I heard when I heard the song. I was like, oh
totally.
my god, it's so rock ballad. So I hope you enjoyed it. It was fun to learn this aria, to come up with a different way of playing it. So we have had a few more donations roll in. So thank you. We are, let's see, 250, and that's the last time I checked, that to match that 500 pledge. So halfway there to that 500 pledge, and a heck of a lot closer to our goal than before.
That is true. I will say the one thing, and this isn't just because of the way you sing it. Every time in the first verse of that last aria where you go, Mama, which means I love you, right?
Yeah.
In Italian.
You have to be careful not to double M it.
Yeah. But every single time, it reminds me of Bohemian Rhapsody.
Mama!
Mama!
Just kill the man. Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah. I'm just channeling Freddie Mercury right there. All right. So, this, I'm going to give you guys a choice. You can vote on it.
Ooh.
I won't even tell you what I'm going to sing
voting
first.
Privileges. Wow.
But yeah, I'm restoring voting privileges for this. I will let you decide whether you want me to do it in the original Italian or in a new version that I wrote. So if you want to put that in the comments, I like both versions of this aria, but if you want it in English, I can definitely do that. So this comes from Puccini's La Bohème, which is what the Musetta thing was earlier from. And this is Rodolfo's aria. Now, Rodolfo and Mimi, in the beginning of the show, it's one of the greatest duet scenes, probably, in my opinion, in all of opera. Like, it's just perfect. And in the process of this scene, Rodolfo, Mimi comes in, and she's like, hey, because they're in Paris, it's Christmas Eve, it's freezing, it's also way back when, and she needs her candle lit, which is actually not a euphemism, she legitimately needs the candle lit. But the thing is, Rodolfo's like, wait a minute, well, not only does she need her candle lit, she's actually kind of cute. And but the thing is that Mimi is sick, right? And she has this moment where she stumbles and falls, and her keys fall somewhere, and then later she starts to try and look for them, and Rodolfo conveniently hides them because he wants her to be there longer, right? And so eventually she's like, hey, help me find it. He's like, oh yeah, I'm helping you. Yeah.
We got to vote for new version.
New version. Okay, here we go.
That's one vote.
I still got
Ditto. Okay, yep.
Okay, well,
that's a consensus.
2, yeah. There you go. In the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, as some say. Okay, I'll do it in English. Okay, so then as they're reaching around on the floor, there's this moment where Rodolfo touches Mimi's hand, and because, again, she's sick, and spoiler alert, she dies in the end because she's got tuberculosis, which apparently is what every soprano dies of in opera in the 1800s. He's like, whoa, your hand's cold, and then this aria starts, and it's basically the biggest overshare in meeting someone I think I've ever heard. So here we go. Your little hands are freezing, let me warm them up for you. You'll never find keys. It's too dark now to see them. Lucky for us, the night is so lovely. The moon is out and we can see the stars. I will tell you who I am, and I can do it in a few words. Soon you'll know who I am and what I do with my life. You ready? Who am I? I am a writer, and what do I write? Screenplays, and of course novels and poems. Here we go. I may not have much money, but I don't need it here. I write all sorts of things. My time is filled with love, adventure, and erotica. And my soul is rich, but sometimes I'm careless with my soul, and I've been robbed of riches by thieving eyes like yours. They've left my heart enchanted, and I cannot control myself. Soon all my hopes and treasures all will be gone from sight, but I won't mind the taking, because you have replaced them with the hope of love. Now that you know me, I've said enough. In fact, I've probably said too much. Please tell me your story. And then she does. So, yeah.
Okay, we have one more for you guys. Overall, in the last couple days, because we sent out information and people definitely donated before tonight, including tonight's donations. And I have one person who sent me a text earlier and asked me what our donation stuff. So I know that I can count on them for that donation. $1,550.
Woo!
So
thank you.
Y'all are awesome, and that makes both of us very happy because when we first started this back in June, when we posted everything, money sort of trickled in, but like now I feel like
we got some
we're
momentum
starting to
going.
snowball, which is great because that means that that puts us over our 3,000 mark, so we're getting closer to that 5,000, and once we reach that 5,000, we'll be able to
Start casting.
Yeah, start casting. So, and we already have people that have sent us materials, and
Mhm.
we get to go through those and decide who we think is going to be the best for our production. Since it's kind of a modern production, you want to take just a little bit of time and talk about the
Yeah.
elixir specifically? I mean, I know a lot of you have listened to our podcast, and we have talked about it.
Yeah,
Before.
I can do that. So Elixir is a really, really fun show. It's got great tuneful music. It's really easy to listen to. And it's all about, I mean, it's kind of a trope in a lot of things. It's the bumbling idiot dude who's in love with this really smart, really sophisticated woman, and he thinks he doesn't have a shot and all that. And then he meets Jul Kamada, who, in my version, is a bartender. It takes place at Pick Your Poison Bar. And the bartender, Jul Kamada, also sells on the down low these elixirs, one of them being a love potion, right? And so he or she, it's actually Rachel in our version, so she is going to sell Nemarino this elixir that helps him, hopefully, I'm not going to give it away, hopefully fall in love with Adina. And there's a lot of really fun musical moments. And so it'll be a show that everybody will enjoy. It's very relatable. Yeah, so I think it's going to be a great show when we put it together. A lot of the stuff that has been sent in to us, there's a lot of great talent out there that we are excited to work with. Obviously, we got to choose somebody. But even still, for those people who sent in stuff, if you end up not getting the role, we're excited to work with you. We were really pleased. It wasn't just like one or two people. It was quite a few.
Yeah.
And so we're really excited to move forward with this, and we're grateful for your donations to help us do that.
Thank you so much.
Because it's kind of the dream, right?
Yeah.
For me, I've been writing these shows for many years now, and knowing full well the power of them. And that's not because, yes, I am a little biased. It is my writing, but like, it's just the art form itself. And if you just make it relatable, people will totally dig it.
Well, and this is, a lot of people talk about how opera is a dying art form, but like, it's not, because this is the sort of thing. There are new works composed every year. I mean, there's something like, we looked at the database. Opera America is an organization, and they have a database, and you can see what new works have been registered, basically,
Yeah.
had a premiere.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 100 something a year. Now, not all of those end up on big opera stages, but that's how it starts.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody writes an opera, it gets premiered, and if it reaches people, then it gets done at multiple houses, and that's how we have new operas like Fire Shut Up on Our Bones, or in my bones, Fire Shut Up
in my bones, I think,
which was the first opera composed by a Black person to be performed at the Met, which was this last year or this year, which is
kind of ridiculous.
Yeah,
really ridiculous.
It's really ridiculous that it took that long. And it's a change though, and it's a change for the better, and hopefully we see even more great pieces. Seattle Opera is doing the plug for them. They're doing Blue, which is an opera about a kid who gets shot by a police officer, and his dad's also a police officer. So the kind of internal struggle that individual goes through, and they're also a Black family. So just that inside view of the struggle that happens there, and the pain and all of that. It's a really important piece of work that's being done. So if you don't have tickets and you're interested in seeing it, go check it out, because I'm gonna go see it. I don't know if you're gonna go see it.
I'm planning on seeing it.
So that's in February. But
because at the end of the day, it's if you get a story that relates to people, opera is the best art form for it, because it combines all the other art forms, and it's basically musical theater on steroids. That's the best way that I can describe it.
Yeah, it's like a wash of sound. It's truly amazing. I remember the first time I heard an operatic voice was actually my first, well, not my first voice teacher, but my first major voice teacher, and the one that really helped create the love of opera in me. She came and sang at our high school, and it was just so moving. I was like, I've never heard anything like that. I've never felt sound wash over me. And it was so moving. not only her voice but her artistry, and I started taking lessons from her, and now look
Here we
where I'm
are.
at. So thank you again for everyone who donated, and everybody who's watching this. It will be put up on YouTube. I don't know if it goes up right away or if you have to wait a day. But we have one more song for you. You can't do a New Year's Eve show without singing Auld Lang Syne, so here we go.
All right.
Should all
acquaintance.
Sorry.
Hold on. We're doing this in a different key than what's down here. So hold on. Take two. Should all acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of Auld Lang Syne? For Auld Lang Syne, my dear, for Auld Lang Syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for Auld Lang Syne. All right, well, Happy New Year to everybody out there. Let's see, it is 8:26, so not quite, American
Depends
still.
on where you're at. Yeah.
It depends on where you're at in America.
Getting close over there on the East Coast.
The outer reaches in Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island are finally, they had their ball drop already.
Yeah.
So, but Happy New Year. Thank you so much for watching the show and donating and supporting us. And,
We're very excited. I mean, this means that probably this summer we're going to be able to put this together. So that's super exciting for us. And we hope you enjoyed. And we'll probably have some other sort of events going on. We'll definitely have a gala no matter what before the show happens. We'll, I'm sure it'll maybe include some of the people.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
We end up casting.
That's how you sell it.
All right. Good night.
Good night.